What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be reviewing set 75357, Ghost and Phantom 2. It is a 10 plus set with 1,394 pieces and 5 minifigures, and then you get the 2 ships in the set, which is the Ghost and Phantom 2, which is a slightly mini-scale version of the ship. And then the 5 minifigures are down here, which include First Officer Hawkins, LT Beta, General Hera Syndulla, Jacen Syndulla, and Chopper, which is just a pretty good selection of minifigures. On top, you can see the LT Beta minifigure in the 1-to-1 scale, and then flipping onto the back, you can see at the back of the box, which does have a really nice view of kind of in the hangar and then a planet in the background. And then you have the characters down here talking and discussing battle plans or battle tactics. Up here, you can see the feature to shoot off the spring-loaded shooters. You can see the interior of the ship, and then also the stuff that you can take apart on the ship, which is just to give some accessibility to the inside. The first minifigure in the set is General Hera Syndulla, and she looks fantastic. I love the way that LEGO did this minifigure. She looks exactly like she does in the new Ahsoka series, and it's so much printing all over this minifigure. Starting off, you have some goggle printing up on top, which does look really nice. Hera does have 2 face prints, so you can see the first one there, and then flip on the back, and she is in a really aggressive state on the back. You can also see the back printing of a little owl type shape, and the back of the jacket looks phenomenal with the little carry-on printing of the fluff of the jacket up top. You can also see up at the front where the fluff carries over and the jacket kind of splits apart. You can also see the correct ranking on her torso, which is a really great detail that LEGO actually followed through with. You can see that she also has a small blaster pistol, because that's just kind of what Hera has, is the smaller blaster pistol of the guns in LEGO Star Wars. You can also see a belt and some orange pants on the bottom of her character. It is a really great carryover of how LEGO did the montrals on her head, and there are printing on them also on the back, which looks really great. And the way that LEGO actually got it to like dual mold or print or whatever they did, it just looks phenomenal, and it's such a great minifigure. Next up on the minifigures is Jacen Syndulla, who is a little bit inaccurate for the set. He should have a green hairpiece, but he does look really nice otherwise. He looks a lot like a character in the show. He has some small minifigure legs to represent how tall he actually is, because he is still a child in the Ahsoka series. If you want to look at his second face print, it is on the back, and it is a more cheerful tone with a big smile. In the set, we also get a New Republic kind of officer or pilot. He is LT Beta, apparently, and that's his name according to LEGO. He has one of the New Republic jumpsuits, which does look really nice, I do have to admit. And then he has a small blaster pistol, and then one of the headpieces, kind of similar to Admiral Ackbar. He is of that species, and on the back he has a little bit of continuous printing. Then in the set, we also get First Officer Hawkins, which is the officer that kind of tells Hera not to go to the planet that Ahsoka and Sabine were going to or whatever in the show, but this is that minifigure, and he does look pretty nice. He's got standard torso printing of a jacket or whatever kind of thing. He has a singular little print on his torso, which I believe is the accurate printing. It is the little blue speck in the circle or in the square, and then he has a belt and some light blue arms. He is only going to have one face print, because the hairpiece does not cover the back of his head enough for there to be a second face print, so he is stuck with just this face print. And then on to the best minifigure of the set, not printing wise, but just my favorite minifigure in the set is Chopper. He looks amazing with printing on the front and back of his character, and it's just a decked out minifigure. He has his little kind of face print on the front, and the front of his torso printing, which they decided to do in white, which is accurate to the show, but is a little bit kind of off-putting compared to the original Chopper, which I have right here, which was done in gray, and in the headpiece was also done in a slightly darker orange, which is a little bit different, but I do like what they did because it does make him more accurate to the show. He has a little white speck on the top because that's his radar that he has out, and the fan favorite War Criminal looks really good in this set. Starting off with the build is the Phantom 2, which does look really nice. It is a bit micro scale compared to the actual Ghost, just because it has a little play feature that can actually connect it to the ship. But it does have a bunch of little stickers all over the set, so that way it has the little details that the little Lego pieces cannot accomplish. On the front is the cockpit, and you can easily fit a minifigure inside by just opening up the cockpit and then setting your minifigure down in here. I will just do Jason, and he fits in nicely. You can also incorporate Chopper into the ship by taking his head off and then putting his head right here, because Lego left a little space to put his head on, and he does look pretty nice kind of sitting on the ship like that. There are stickers on the side, also for Phoenix Squadron, which does look really nice, and then a little bit of printing on the back, or a sticker on the back. There is a little compartment on the back also with a blaster pistol and then binoculars inside. You can also see the two little engine thruster kind of things, which do stick out at the back. And then that is about it with the ship, other than the little blasters up here at the front. And then the Ghost looks amazing. It's really nice that Lego finally remade this ship, considering how many people actually have been wanting the set. The price for the Ghost is like well over what it used to be. It retailed for like $80 or $90 when it came out, and now the average selling price for the set is like $300. It's absolutely absurd, and to get the set for about $160, $170, I can't remember, but I did use VIP points to get it for about $100, so it is a really great set for what I did pay, and it looks fantastic in all the white and the little colors all over the ship. Up at the front, we will look at the little cockpit first. It is a bit difficult to get out, but you can just kind of grab it and pull, and then inside you can see the cockpit, which does use an Inquisitor like lightsaber piece right here, and it is a cool design that they used for the steering and stuff in there. The ball turret kind of thing on the front is printed, and it looks really great. And then you have two little studs inside at which you can put Hera, which it does look a little bit compact in there, and that is because it is, but Hera does fit nicely in, and you can see her right in there steering the ship. There also happens to be a second little spot to put a minifigure to steer the ship or gun a turret or whatever. So I'm just going to put Hawkins in there, and you can have him sit right there and gun a turret or ship, whatever he is doing. When sliding the little front part back in, you have to be careful because you kind of have to align this little part of the turret up at the front properly. Otherwise, you won't be able to access a little play feature, which is being able to shoot the spring-loaded shooters off down beneath. You have to have the turret completely facing forwards, and then you can kind of push it back in there and it will lock in place. And then you can push the front windshield down, which is stickered, which is a little unfortunate because it would have been nice if Lego just printed it because of that weird miscoloring in the white, but it does like function properly nonetheless. Moving around the ship a little, you have all this little greebling up here in all these different colors. You have some stickers for some detail that Lego couldn't accomplish in just some small Lego pieces. You have some like wires or whatever up here, and then this cool outward stud design on the side, which I do really like, and there are little to no gaps. Like the gaps that are there are almost hardly noticeable, and that is a big difference compared to the previous Ghost, which did have huge gaps in between these little lines on the side. Over here, you have the little docking port, which does look really nice. It makes use of that one like big circular piece, and then a sticker right here because there was no way that Lego would be able to get that type of detail in that tight of a space. You also have some more stickers up here for some like hatchets or whatever, and then another sticker on the back. On the very back of the ship, though, right above the engines, you can go ahead and slide in the Phantom 2, which does connect on nicely and is not going to go anywhere if you just shake it around. You actually have to like lift up and pull it out to the side because it is connected by this little Technic pin, which does go in this little hole right here, and then the little stud, which also connects onto the bottom of the ship, so it kind of keeps it pretty sturdy, nice and tight up in here. And because the set was designed with the like customizability of the Phantom 2 going in, there is almost no gaps whenever the Phantom 2 is docked, and it does look really nice. Though if you do take the Phantom 2 out, it does look a little bit like there's something to be desired here, and this kind of sticks out like a Thor thumb down in here where they just kind of left that open. which is a little unfortunate, but you're most likely going to be displaying the set with the Phantom 2 if you are displaying the set. And then on the back, you have the engines, which do look really nice. They use this like transparent, sparkly blue color, and I think the engines look phenomenal. They are also 2 more down beneath, and then you can see the landing area down a little ways under. Moving on to the other side, it's literally just the exact same design as this side, but copied onto this side, and it does look just as great. On the top of the ship, there are some nice red accents, a turret, and then a little sticker up here. And the turret does have a little bit of motion, being able to go from all the way down and then all the way back a little bit, but it does not get a spin around or anything like that. There is also a little ball turret kind of thing up here where you can have a minifigure sit, and there is a little like chair down in there, and then the top piece does completely come off, so you can have your minifigures have easy accessibility to the inside, which we'll take a look at in a sec. Putting a minifigure in this little top portion is easy. You just make them sit down, and then you can close the turret down easy on them. And then it just rests nicely right up in here, and it does kind of connect in a little bit. But taking the top portion off, it does come off really easy and nicely, considering that it is only attached by like 4 studs or something for the entire thing. So you're not going to get it stuck and it break apart your ship. Inside of the ship, we will start at the little airlocks, which do say airlock in Aurebesh, and then the little like red or the yellow and black stripe, just that way it adds a bit more caution to the set. On the other side, you also do have a airlock for the other side, and then a little section at the back, which is just kind of random pieces jumbled together to help build the set. Then you have a sink on this side, which is a nice little design. It's a bit hard to see, but you can see it down in there. Then they also included a container right here, which does have a little like vegetable inside, which is the Meilurun from Star Wars Rebels, which is Hera's favorite snack of like fruit or vegetable. And then on the other side is just a little control panel. There is not much in the interior because of how limited the space is, but it is still an interior nonetheless, and it's a lot more than what we got on the previous Star Wars Rebels Ghost. This one is a pretty massive interior compared to that. You also have 2 little studs here for Chopper to go on, so you can have Chopper kind of sit in the back of the ship or like inside of it while your minifigures pilot the ship and stuff. On the bottom of the ship, it doesn't look the greatest, but there is some landing gear right here and then 2 more in the back, and it kind of raises the ship up off the ground, which is really nice considering that the ship is a little bit fragile and it just needs that little bit of like raised up so that way the bottom of the ship doesn't completely like fall apart, though it is really technic on the bottom. There are 2 little flaps on the side which can be raised down, so that way you have a little like docking or whatever. You can kind of see it, it's so hard to tell, but right here you can see it's a little docking ramp on the side because they weren't able to accomplish putting one on the front just because of size, limited space, but it does look pretty nice on the side. And then there is also a second one on the side, which is a little hard to get just because I am using 1 finger for this. But when it's down, and then you can simply raise it back up all the way, which does create a nice little fold on the side. For the spring-loaded shooters on the bottom, the little play feature is you push that to one side, and it shoots the spring-loaded shooter, and the other side shoots the other spring-loaded shooter. So you can have the Ghost kind of switching its guns around and shooting all the enemies out of the sky. But that is going to be all, guys. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.